The woman tilted her head slightly, a sly smile curling on her lips. Her golden earrings shimmered under the dim light as she raised a delicate hand, her eyes glinting with cold amusement. "By the way she lost consciousness," she purred. "Take her to Mr. Bei Ming. He is still waiting." Her voice sharpened, slicing through the air like a whip. Her arms crossed in authority, and the room seemed to tense under her command. "Now," she barked, leaving no room for hesitation. The night sky stretched wide and endless, painted in shades of deep blue. The full moon hung high, glowing softly and casting silver light upon the world below. Clouds drifted lazily, as if unaware of the storm about to unfold beneath their calm gaze. Nestled among the trees, a modern mansion stood in silent isolation. Warm golden light spilled from its wide windows, cutting through the cool darkness of the night. Its sleek structure gleamed faintly under the moonlight, a quiet witness to whatever secrets it was about to hold. The pale moonlight filtered through the curtains, casting soft streaks of light across the room. Everything inside was still, too still. Shadows stretched across the floor like whispers in the dark, as if the house itself was holding its breath, waiting for what would happen next. A soft groan escaped her lips as her eyelashes fluttered open. The world around her was hazy, painted in cold shades of blue under the moonlight. She clutched her chest instinctively, confusion clouding her delicate face. She whispered faintly, her voice trembling. Her vision cleared and she slowly turned her head, trying to make sense of her surroundings. The chill in the air, the unfamiliar bed, none of it felt right. Her crimson eyes flickered with alarm. "This place is," she breathed, her heartbeat quickening. A small, uncertain smile tugged at the corner of her lips. It wasn't out of joy. Rather, it was the uneasy smile of someone caught in a dangerous web, trying to steady their own trembling heart. The deep voice cut through the silence like a blade. By the wide window, bathed in moonlight, a tall figure stood. His white shirt half unbuttoned, his smile dangerous and knowing. "Not running anymore?" he asked, his eyes fixed on her like a predator watching its prey. She lay helpless on the couch, her pink hair cascading like silk across the cushion. He leaned forward, his long fingers tilting her chin upward with an unnerving gentleness. The distance between them shrank, and the room seemed to close in around them. His power was quiet but overwhelming. Lying there beneath the pale moonlight, she stared up at the ceiling with wide, uncertain eyes. Her fingers brushed against her lips, as if to steady the trembling inside her chest. "After all, am I still caught?" she whispered in her mind, the weight of her situation pressing down on her. In an instant he leaned closer, his face mere inches from hers. His hand gently caressed her cheek, a touch that sent shivers through her. His gaze was intense, steady, unrelenting, trapping her like a butterfly beneath glass. She could feel his breath warm against her skin. His voice was low, almost taunting, as his sharp blue eyes locked with hers. "You say Dongling is your area?" he murmured, as if testing the boundaries of both her words and her resolve. Her heart thudded violently as his face inched closer, shadows and moonlight dancing across their features. Her breath caught, her lips parted, but no words came out. "Doubt?" he whispered, a hint of danger lacing his voice. The world seemed to fade away, leaving only the two of them in a silent, moonlit room. His smile was calm, almost satisfied, while she lay still beneath him, her expression torn between fear and something unspoken. The tension hung thick in the air, every heartbeat echoing louder than the last. His weight hovered above her, their eyes locked in a tense silence. The distance between them was fragile, just one breath apart. Her heart pounded wildly, caught between fear and something she couldn't name. "Hold," her mind whispered, trembling. Her lips moved hesitantly, forced to speak the words she didn't mean. "I will serve you. I will actively serve you." But behind those wide, tear-bright eyes burned a spark of fury. "I will find a way to take my revenge, shameless couple. Just wait," she swore silently, clenching her fists beneath the sheets. Her face turned away, eyes narrowing with cold determination. In her mind, images of betrayal flashed sharply. The man she once trusted, now holding another woman in his arms. Their laughter echoed in her memory like poison. Hatred rooted itself deeper in her chest. "Drink it." His voice was calm, yet carried an undeniable authority. He stood tall, the warm lamplight casting sharp shadows across his features, his gaze fixed on her with unnerving control. Her hands trembled as she stared at the glass he held out to her. The crimson liquid shimmered under the light, an invitation wrapped in danger. "You," she breathed softly, her voice caught between defiance and fear. The room felt smaller, the air heavier, as her fingers brushed the cool surface of the glass. His hand tightened around the glass, forcing it closer to her trembling lips. "Drink it," he barked, his voice cold and sharp. Her eyes widened, filled with fear and helpless defiance. The dark red liquid shimmered in the light, like blood, like a trap she couldn't escape. The bitter taste burned her throat as the liquid slid down her neck, trailing down her neck like a crimson line. Her hands clenched tightly, the sound of her choked breaths filling the heavy silence. "Serve me," he ordered, his voice deep and steady, as though every word was carved into the air. He stood tall, looking down at her with a dangerous calm, the light casting shadows across his sharp features. She lifted her gaze slowly, her knees on the floor as he towered above her. The way he looked down at her sent a chill through her veins, a reminder of the power he held and the position she had fallen into. Her lips quivered as she finally spoke, her voice soft and unsure. "Will you really help me? I just want to confirm a little." Her cheeks were flushed, her eyes wide and glistening with a mixture of fear, hope, and something unspoken. The room was quiet, holding its breath with her. His expression didn't waver. His sharp gaze was firm, cold, yet undeniably resolute. "What I said will definitely come true," he murmured, each word carrying the weight of an unbreakable promise or a warning. "Serve," he commanded, his voice echoing through the silent room. Her thoughts whirled in turmoil, her heart heavy with rage and pain. Just for revenge against that shameless couple, I have to give up the innocence I've guarded all these years, she thought bitterly. Her hands trembled slightly as they reached for his shirt. Her eyes burned with determination and fury. More than 20 years. She whispered in her mind, "Is it worth it?" Yet even as the question lingered, she pulled at the fabric, an irreversible choice. The shirt slid off, revealing the hard lines of his chest, her breath caught in her throat. "I have no longer way," she thought, her pulse thundering in her ears. To back off. The words echoed in her mind like a final bell, her gaze locked forward, the world around her blurring into nothing. The path she'd chosen was set. Her breath caught in her throat. But the single thought lingered like a whisper in the dark, trembling against the rising storm inside her chest. Her eyes hardened, though her body was still shaking. Without warning, his hand gripped her and pushed her down, his strength undeniable. Her wide eyes reflected shock and fear. "Don't challenge my patience." His voice was low and dangerous. "If you make me angry, it won't be good." "Let me go," she cried, her voice cracking with panic. The pressure against her made it hard to breathe. This man, if he keeps going like this, the thought clawed at her mind. He could kill me right here. Her wrists were locked tightly in his grasp, leaving no room for escape. The warmth of his skin contrasted the cold terror running through her veins. She struggled, but the grip only grew firmer. He leaned closer, shadows tracing the sharp lines of his face, a cold smirk curving at the corner of his lips. "Now you want to retreat," he murmured, his voice dripping with dark amusement. The room seemed to close in on her, every breath heavier than the last one. The scene is heavy with tension, illuminated by a warm, private light. A man, intensely handsome with dark hair and penetrating, almost violet eyes, looms over the protagonist. His posture is dominant, a clear sign of control. The protagonist lets out a sharp, surprised gasp, "Ugh!" as the man whispers a chilling finality. It's late. His tone is a mix of command and dark amusement, suggesting that whatever boundary was supposed to be respected has already been crossed. His face, shown in close-up, is a mask of calculating charm, a predatory smile playing on his lips, hinting at the dangerous intentions behind his refined exterior. He is the architect of this late-night confrontation, and the protagonist is caught in his snare. The protagonist, with striking pink hair and eyes shimmering with distress, is held captive in the man's embrace. The bright, stark color surrounding them highlight the emotional turmoil. A desperate, pleading voice escapes her. "Sir, I really don't want." Her protest is not one of anger, but of utter helplessness and fear, the true magnitude of the situation crashing down on her. The scene is saturated with her vulnerability, contrasting sharply with the man's calm, inescapable proximity. She is fighting a lost battle, her words fading into the charged atmosphere. The man leans in, his expression shifting from a seductive lure to one of pure, cynical arrogance. His words are a venomous blow, revealing the cold, transactional nature of their encounter. "Ha ha, with a meager 10 billion, that could get a precious thing like you." The casual, dismissive laugh contrasts brutally with the immense, life-altering price he has just mentioned. The protagonist realizes she has been bought, her inherent worth reduced to a shockingly high but ultimately shallow monetary value. This revelation solidifies the man's role not just as a captor, but as someone who views people as commodities to be acquired and possessed. As the realization dawns, the protagonist turns her face away, her pink hair spilling over her shoulder, her eyes tightly shut in a mix of regret and self-reproach. The earlier defiance is replaced by a profound, agonizing epiphany. Her internal monologue is a terrifying admission of her misjudgment. "I am wrong. This new man is the most scary person, who I should not..." The sentence trails off, the unspoken warning clear. "Who I should not have provoked, underestimated, or trusted." She finally sees the danger, not just in his power or wealth, but in the ruthlessness of his character. Her body language and expression portray the overwhelming sense of terror, trapped in a situation where the man she is with is not a savior or a lover, but a terrifying and dangerous master. His voice was low, firm, and without hesitation. "Later, become my woman." The command hung in the air like a chain, pulling the breath from her chest. She stared back, caught between disbelief and fear, her body tense beneath his shadow. "I don't want. No, please." Her voice trembled, breaking apart like fragile glass, but his tone only grew colder. "No one dares to defy me. You said it, so now you'll do it." The words felt like a lock snapping shut. His hands dragged her closer, his breath hot against her skin. She shuddered at his touch, her body stiff with fear, even as he closed the distance further. A helpless sound escaped her throat. The room felt too small, the weight pressing down on her, leaving no space to breathe. His gaze bore into hers as if claiming ownership. His face dangerously close. She closed her eyes, not from acceptance, but from the cold inevitability of the moment. The tension in the room was thick. A girl lay unconscious, her figure limp and pale under the soft light. A voice, laced with frustration and panic, broke the silence. "This idiot girl dares to comatose at this time?" It wasn't just anger speaking. It was fear cloaked in sarcasm, masking deeper emotions yet to be revealed. Suddenly, the scene shifts. A brilliant sky stretches endlessly above, painted in serene shades of blue and white. Sunlight pours down gently, cutting through the clouds like divine rays. Below, lush green trees sway in the breeze, their leaves sparkling under the light. A calm rolled outside, so peaceful, so alive, unaware of the turmoil within those walls. Back inside, the warmth of the sun gently slips through the window, casting golden glimmers on a soft couch. Strands of pink hair spill over the edge, their owner lying still and silent. The contrast between her stillness and the vibrant world outside is stark, like a soul caught between two realities. The soft light of morning seeped through the curtains, casting a gentle glow across the room. A young woman lay asleep on a large, elegant bed, her long pink hair flowing like silk across the pillow. Her expression was peaceful, almost fragile, as if caught in the delicate space between a dream and reality. A quiet murmur escaped her lips, hinting at the confusion slowly surfacing in her mind. Her eyes fluttered open slowly, revealing a pair of dazed violet irises. The warmth of the bed still clung to her skin, but something felt off. She turned her head slightly, blinking against the morning light. Marks on her shoulder hinted at a memory she couldn't fully grasp. "This is," she whispered, a wave of realization beginning to form, unanswered questions brewing just beneath the surface. Before she could gather her thoughts, the door opened with a soft creak. A composed maid stepped into the room, her posture rigid yet respectful. "You should wake up. He wants you to have breakfast, then go to the living room to meet him." The girl's eyes widened slightly. He? Who was this man she was being summoned to meet, and why did it feel like she had no choice? Her eyes widened in shock, her heart pounding uncontrollably. A wave of panic washed over her as she struggled to understand what had just happened. Sitting on the edge of the bed, she clutched the sheets tightly. No blood? Could it be? Her mind raced with unanswered questions, the silence of the room only amplifying her fear. The maid's cold, mocking voice pierced the air. Forget it. The kind of dirty woman who dared to climb into his bed." The girl sat frozen, her hands gripping the fabric near her shoulders, unable to find the right words to defend herself. With an impatient tug, the maid yanked away the blanket. "He really hates waiting for others. You'd better hurry up," she barked, pulling the fabric with surprising strength. She slipped on the black high heels, the straps wrapping snugly around her ankles. Her trembling hands tied the blue ribbon around her wrist. She had no choice but to face what was waiting for her. Standing at the staircase, she took a deep breath. After all, last night, her fingers gripped the railing as uncertainty clouded her eyes. In the lavish living room, 3 figures were already waiting. A man dressed in black sat calmly in the single chair, exuding a chilling authority, while the couple on the couch turned their heads in surprise at her arrival. The couple's expressions hardened. The woman in the red dress leaned forward with a sharp glare, while the man beside her looked equally startled and displeased. Before she could take another step, a strong hand reached out, pulling her forward. "Ah!" she gasped as she fell right into his arms. His calm, unreadable gaze met her startled eyes, and for a moment, time seemed to stop.